Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef, and today I'm going to talk about Pampered Chef's micro cookers. If you don't have these in your kitchen, I don't know how you're living without them, because it is something that we use every single day. We may not use all three in the same day, but we use a micro cooker here for something pretty much every single day. If this is the first time that you're watching one of my videos, be sure to go to theflipflopchef.com. Click the button at the top of the page to join my recipe community. There you're gonna find thousands of recipes, giveaways, and occasionally some discounts. If you would, let me know where you're watching from. I always like to know where everybody's tuning in from. So let's go ahead and get started. So what are the micro cookers? What can you do with them? And why do you need them? So the really cool thing about micro cookers, obviously, they're for use in the microwave. They are dishwasher safe, so they're very easy to clean. But I get a lot of questions about, well, what can I use them for? What do you use them for? And so I want to share what I use them for, because that's the top question people ask me, Mindy, what do you use your micro cookers for? So my favorite, I have two favorite sizes. These two I use the most. I use the smallest, which is 1 quart, and the largest, which is 3 quart. So let's talk about the 3 quart first. I actually have some rice in here. I made this in a previous video that I just recorded earlier today. So I thought, what better way to just show you guys how to do rice in here? So this 3 quart size is different from the other two sizes. The difference is the smaller sizes only have a steaming lid. This one has an inner lid that will help starchy foods from keep preventing them from boiling over. So let's talk about this. This has had time to cool down a little bit, so I'm not worried about any steam or anything, but the handles pretty much stay cool to the touch on all 3 sizes. However, if you grab it from the sides when it's been in the microwave for a while, just know that that does get a lot hotter. You may need to use oven mitts for that. Once you're taking this out, you're gonna unlock these little lids or the little handles on the side. This lid comes out. Very rarely do these two pieces come out together. So I'm going to show you what's going to happen most every time that you remove this lid. So most of the time you're going to take this lid off, and this one is going to be sitting still inside of this cooker. Now, if it's very, very hot, like you've just taken it out of the microwave, don't stick your finger in here. You can stick your finger in and pop this out really easily, but if there is a lot of hot steam in there, you will burn your finger. So my recommendation is to get a butter knife, just slide it in and easily pop this up. And just like everybody learned in home ec class, I don't think they teach home ec anymore, you open the lid away from you so that the steam will go away, okay? That way you're not burning your face. Free facials are good, not burning faces, right? So in here I have some Tuscan chicken rice, and this was made with Pampered Chef's Tuscan herb meal mix, Tuscan herb chicken meal mix, and I will share the recipe for that with this video so that you guys can make it. It only took 15 minutes, and it's just a few ingredients. It has chicken broth, you could use water, chicken broth or water, rice, butter, some of the seasoning mix, and that's it. 15 minutes in the microwave. Some other ideas for the 3 quart size, because this is the size that I use the most. I make rice in it very often, but you can also cook quinoa. So if you like eating quinoa, this is the easiest way to cook it. I will never cook rice or quinoa on the stove ever again, because I don't have to worry about burning it when I use the micro cooker. So, and keep in mind, the 3 quart size is special because it has this lid. If you try to do rice or quinoa in the other two, it might boil over, because depending on how much you're cooking, you're not gonna have that extra inner lid. So quinoa, rice, you can also make grits in your micro cookers. There's a recipe that I have for smoked Gouda grits. It's delicious. It's a really, really old recipe from Pampered Chef. I don't even think it's on our website, but it is in my recipe community that I mentioned earlier. Theflipflopchef.com, there's a button at the very top. Just click that, it'll take you to my recipe community, and that's where you're gonna find the majority of my recipes. Just search for grits or search for Gouda. Fewer words is always better, but smoked Gouda grits made in the microwave, so good, and I just use the quick grits for that. Now, you can also cook pasta in your 3 quart micro cooker plus. I wouldn't recommend pasta in the other two, because unless you're talking about ramen, which we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but you can cook pasta in here. That inner lid is going to keep it from boiling over. And this is just some tortellini, cheese-filled tortellini. This is something that I buy often, and it's so fast and easy. You just put the pasta in, out of the package, into the bowl, cover it with water, and the general rule is going to be 1 minute per ounce. So this is a 9-ounce package, So you could do 9 minutes. You may want to, excuse me, you may want to check on it a few minutes before that, but that would be the maximum time. So maybe do 5 minutes, check it to see if it's as tender as you like. Pasta is weird. Everybody likes their pasta a little bit more, a little bit different. Some like it al dente, some like a little bit more soft. So find your magic number, and that's a really good goal for you. So this is the 3-quart micro cooker, plus has that extra inner lid and the locking handles to keep the lid from flying off in the microwave. Now, a couple of things I'm going to tell you about these. So these are steaming bowls, but they're not just for steaming vegetables. So in this one, I do have some frozen edamame. It's kind of sticking together now because I dumped it in there a few minutes ago and it's starting to defrost. You're going to add just a little bit of water. I do about a 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of water when I steam vegetables, and depending again how tender you want them. Like I like broccoli twice steamed. If I go to a restaurant, I ask them to steam it twice because I like it to be super soft. So you may not like it that way. So you're gonna have to come up with your magic number for steaming vegetables, but start out with 3 to 5 minutes, add time as you need to. Another thing I like to do with this micro cooker is I like to make rice-a-roni. Now these are Aldi brand. You don't need the lid for this because these recipes tell you, the recipes on the box tell you not to use a lid. There are microwave instructions on here. I will caution you that using these does damage the inside of your micro cooker if it turns really white. All of the products from Pampered Chef that have been made since, gosh, I don't remember what year, a long time ago. I don't want to say the wrong year, but for many, many years, all of our products are BPA-free if you're cooking in them. Like if they're meant to be cooked in, then they are BPA-free. You definitely don't have to worry about any issues if you damage the inside of this. But what's gonna happen is, maybe you can see on the inside of this one, there's a little white residue, like it looks like residue. There's nothing in there. It just changes the color because it's overheated basically. Because with these 2 recipes, you're basically browning butter in here, which is something that will cause discoloration. So just keep that in mind. If you want these to stay looking really pretty, don't make rice-a-roni in them. But this is the fastest way to make rice-a-roni in my opinion, and I use the 2-quart size. And you can buy whatever brand you like the most. Now, Christian, he and Keith both eat ramen. I'm not a big ramen fan unless I add some things to go with it and dress it up, but they'll both eat these right out of the package, and you just take the noodles out, put them in the bowl, add some water. I think they do 3 to 5 minutes. Make sure you add water. We learned that the hard way a few months ago. I'm sure those of you in my recipe community will get a laugh out of that story because you remember those pictures of Christian, but make sure you don't forget the water, and you can cook your ramen in here. And then if you have too much liquid when you're done, because we don't really measure a lot around here, we measure with our hearts. So I just say cover the noodles, and then you can strain off whatever excess liquid you have before you add the seasoning packet. And so that's a great thing for the small micro cooker is the ramen. Now you can also melt a stick of butter in the micro cookers. That's another great thing that you can use these for, and there are instructions on that in the use and care for how to do that. Something else that I like to do is Keith really likes peppers and onions in like fajitas and things like that. If you want to get them super tender, so he likes them like super soft. He doesn't want them crunchy. So sometimes I will steam them first before I grill them or saute them in a pan, just so that they're the right tenderness that he likes, and it doesn't take a long time to cook them on the stove. So I start them in the microwave and then finish them on the stove or the grill. The other thing that I like to use this size for the most is reheating leftovers. So if you have ever had a leftover casserole or a leftover soup that has chicken in it, nobody likes reheated cooked chicken, right? Because it just changes the texture. It doesn't taste very good. It just messes with it. And so if you don't want to take the time to reheat that on the stove, then use the micro cooker. And you know what? You can eat right out of these bowls if you wanted to. So there's no reason to transfer this to another dish and dirty that up if you're just reheating your own portion, right? So a couple of examples. So I made this pork roast the other night, and if we wanted to reheat this, I would tell everybody in my family, reheat it in here because it keeps it nice and moist, keeps it tender, it doesn't dry it out. I don't know how it works, but it's magical and it works beautifully, and that's great for chicken, pork, beef, anything. This is just some leftovers from a restaurant. So this is pasta, and it reheats great right in the micro cookers without having to get out a pot and do it on the stove. So the micro cookers are phenomenal, and you can see how often we use them in our kitchen. The 1 quart and the 2 quart are sold individually. However, the only way to get the 3 quart micro cooker plus at the time of recording this video is in this set. I wish we sold it separately again, but right now the only way to get it is part of the set. But don't fret if you already have these two. Now that I've shown you all the things that you can do with them, you will be using them more and you'll love having multiple. If I open the drawer back there, we have several sizes. I have 2 of the rice cooker plus, I have 2 of the 2 quarts, and I have 2 of the 1 quarts. And so I know I cook probably differently and maybe more often than a lot of you guys, but once you teach your family to reheat their leftovers in these, you're gonna find them in your dishwasher all the time. So the micro cookers are awesome. I do have a, well, I think I have a file in my recipe community in the file section for the 3 quart micro cooker. It might be titled Rice Cooker Plus Recipes. So if you can't find it and you're looking for it, just let me know. But you can do potatoes, rice, pasta. You can get really creative with this. There's even a recipe there to make like a chocolate lava cake in here. You can brown your ground beef in these. I know a lot of people who use the 2 quart size to brown their ground beef and strain the grease through the top. So like I said, you can get super creative when you're using our micro cookers, and I know that you're gonna love having them in your kitchen. So if you'd like to purchase these, you can use the shopping buttons from any of my pages. If you need any assistance, just leave comments in the chat, or you can reach out to me directly. And I will have much more to share with you guys, so stay tuned for more, but that's all for today. Bye everyone.